It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Maloney.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Again, you'll find this show on here on 1250 WHNZ weekdays at 8 a.m., so I invite you to please tune in, as every day I'm talking to a couple different business owners and entrepreneurs, and just promoting the entrepreneurial spirits that drives the economy, and something near and dear to my heart, and something I'm very excited about doing. And also, you can learn more about this show and catch past shows on demand over at my website, TampaBayRadio.com. So I invite you to please check out that site. Also, you can catch me on all the different social networking sites. iTunes, just search for That Business Show. Also, I'm up on SoundCloud and YouTube channel. All the shows are streamed live by Tampa Bay Multimedia. Got John Gaston in studio with me today. Just me and him today. Usually I have a couple co-hosts with me in here, but not today. It's me and John today. So it's kind of lonely in here today, isn't it, John?
We're flying solo.
Yeah, I know. And we got one guest coming up here in just a moment, Eric Salvarez with Aerocon Events, where we talk about the Florida Small Business Forum that's coming up March 24th and 25th over at the Crown Plaza. He'll be on the show here in just a little bit. But interesting stuff in the news today, John. Do you see this Robert Durst character? They've been talking about this for the last couple of days. This New York real estate tycoon, doing an HBO documentary, and suspected in a few murders in the 80s, disappearance of his wife, and something else around 2001. And he walks into the bathroom with a wireless microphone, not realizing it's still on. And he starts mumbling to himself. He says something like, "What did you do? I killed them all." Yeah. And it's being recorded, and then he comes back out, and he doesn't realize, what he had done, and now he's getting picked up by I think the New York Police Department, and now he's rehashing this 30-year-old.
Yeah, they're going to reopen the investigation.
Yeah, crazy story out of New York. Something that I've heard of some other people walking into the bathrooms before with the microphones on and stuff. That happened in a university one time with a university professor of ours went in on break to use the restroom. Of course, he didn't mumble anything. Just got to hear him use the restroom. Quite an embarrassing moment for him, I am sure. Real estate market is heating up. There was a report out yesterday on Bay News 9. Tampa Bay is in the top 10 hottest real estate markets, and you're in the market yourself for a property.
Oh man, let me tell you.
How's that going? You said you had a little issue there, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. We find these houses that we like, and we put our bid in, and it gets accepted. Next thing we know, we're hearing, it may not appraise out.
You hate to hear that. Yeah.
Or it's it was a sinkhole. You
right.
didn't want to divulge that beforehand.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, you got to if they know. It's just that word sinkhole is so overused, I think, in some situations. I mean, the slightest crack on a home, somebody will start claiming sinkhole, and especially up in Pasco and Hernando County, the highways are just dotted with attorney signage to get those insurance claims, and it's just. The biggest racket in law is getting filing these claims and getting people to settle. It happened to me years ago with an employment issue, and because people know it's going to cost more to defend the case than take it through litigation, and sinkhole and insurance, that's a great little market to be in if you're an attorney. But the home that you're looking at, did it have a sinkhole or
no? Well, the first one we put a bid in did, which was we don't mind. Because we understand this industry, we get it.
Was it a repaired sinkhole?
Yeah, it was repaired,
okay,
whole 9 yards. It was beautiful.
Yeah, if they're repaired, they're actually. And if you're looking in Pasco and Hernando, I always tell buyers, repaired sinkhole homes are probably superior than the unrepaired ones, because those homes are pinned to the bedrock at that point, and they're not going anywhere. Plus, they come with typically, I think, about a 25-year warranty. And so don't shun the home if it is a repaired sinkhole.
They're good. Yeah, they're good homes. Now,
just make sure you get all the documentation. Make sure you know that the company that did the work is still in business. Yes. So you just make sure everything is documented and fully disclosed. I would give you that tip right there.
We did look at one that was kind of funny. We looked at one that was fully disclosed, the whole 9 yards, but whoever did it just didn't do a good job because the house crowned. And you could walk in and then watch its slope.
Oh, really?
Each way, we're like, well, we know where the sinkhole was fixed,
Mm-hmm.
but there was this like, I could put a marble in the middle of the room,
Yeah.
and it would go to a corner either way. I'm like, okay, that's not good.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but the house we're looking at, it's a great house. It just, it's one of those, and I love how you preach all the time. Make sure that your realtor's doing their due diligence.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was one of those things where the owner said, I want this, and the realtor said, but you'll only get this. He goes, but put on a market for this and see if I can get it.
Right.
And
that
now
always
it's like,
happens.
yeah.
I mean, because I always say that sellers add an emotional value to the actual retail value of the property, and you got to coach sellers all the time that you got to remove that emotional aspect. Nobody cares, about the history of the home, from your perspective.
Right.
They care what the comps are saying in the market, and that's why properties always sell at a percentage under the list price on average. When it's traditional sellers, they always overprice them, usually 5 to 10% to start. And if you price it right at market value and it goes quickly, what do? They start blaming you for underpricing it.
Exactly. Well, you didn't do your job.
And I've sold 1,400 properties now, and I can speak from experience. If the home does not sell within that first 2 weeks with multiple offers, or at least a few offers, then you've lost money, because if it goes 30, 60 days, you've lost money, because you lose that great selling point, the sense of urgency, the ability to say, I've got a lot of demand. I get a lot of calls on this property.
Yep.
That's an easy selling tactic for a realtor to use in those first 2 weeks, and a lot of times it will be true.
Yes.
But on day 295, it's hard to say. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of interest in this property. You better get that offer in right away. And so if you overprice your home from the start, you've really hamstringed yourself, and you really want to focus on that initial 7 to 14 days. And if an offer is coming in at that point, that will be the highest offer that you get, probably 80 to 90% of the time, and I'm speaking from a experience of 1,400 some sales.
Right.
I've seen that. Banks overprice properties time and time again, and if they don't sell within that 7 to 14 days, the offers just go downhill from there.
Yeah,
it happens every single time.
So,
well, let's go and bring on our guest here,
yes,
Eric Salvarezza. He is the president of Aerocon and has. Aerocon Events, I should say, and has over 20 years of conference marketing and business development experience. Through various positions, he has managed and planned hundreds of domestic and international events, including business and financial conferences, corporate events, training programs, and nonprofit fundraisers. In 2014, Eric formed Aerocon Events, which is a financial conference service company focused on producing high-quality finance conferences covering unique topics in emerging and growth markets. Eric, welcome to the show today.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on.
So thank you very much for stopping into the show this morning. I know you're planning a big event coming up here on March 24th and 25th, so let's lead off with that, the Florida Small Business and Entrepreneur Forum.
Yeah, so this is a conference that we've been putting together, probably working on it for, 5 or 6 months at this point. It's an event that we put together with the hopes of getting some information out there to small business owners and entrepreneurs, even some startup companies, really focused on the things they need to know about preparing to raise capital and position their companies and their business for investment. My experience, as you mentioned, I've got over 20 years of experience in the conference business. But for the past, probably 10 years, before I started Aerocon, I worked for a company that was doing nothing but financial and investment-related conferences. I got a really good understanding on what it takes to run a strong financial-focused event. And that's what I wanted to do for the Small Business Forum. I wanted to get just a great agenda with a really, really great roster of speakers to come in and educate business owners on the things they need to know and how to finance their company. We don't want to sort of talk about anything else related to marketing the business or sales related issues. solely focused on finance and investment.
Yeah, you've got a number of great speakers lined up. I was looking over at the website. You can find some information on this at FloridaSmallBusinessForum.com. Again, this is going to be going on March 24th and 25th over at the Crown Plaza Hotel here in Tampa. The event kicking off again March 24th with a pre-conference workshop starting around 1 o'clock. Human resource essentials, developing a business plan. I mean, there's a whole host of different events going on, and you've got a number of great speakers, several of which have been on my show. I had Dr. Jamie Kalaga, owner of Two Maids and a Mop. I see she's one of your speakers. Topher Morrison, a great friend of mine, managing director over at Key Person of Influence. He's one of your speakers. Also, Ali Walter, Ali Ann and Company, great business strategist. Tell me a little bit more about some of the speakers that are coming to this event.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, we've got a great roster of speakers. So, we've got some. I guess we can get into at some point talking a little bit about the content and sort of how we laid it out and the different topics that we're going to be covering. But I think some of the really interesting speakers that we have a woman named Sally Outlaw from PeerBackers.com, and PeerBackers is a crowdfunding platform. She'll be coming up from South Florida. I think she's in the Miami area. So she's going to do a couple of sessions and talking about how companies can go out there and use the internet to raise money. Crowdfunding is somewhat of a new topic here, up and coming for the way that companies can raise money, and using as they say, using the crowd.
Yeah, speak to us about crowdfunding. That's a term that's really come into the business environment over the last few years. I think there's been some laws changed to allow for the crowdfunding to become more applicable. And so talk to me about crowdfunding a little bit deeper.
Yeah, I mean, crowdfunding, and it still is changing. I mean, the SEC is still looking at the rules and the regulations for it, and the crowdfunding industry is sort of waiting for them to finalize what's legal and what's not. Crowdfunding started as a way for smaller companies to sort of raise some money easily for, say, they were trying to develop a product. So say a company had a new watch that they were looking to get out there. They wanted to develop it. They had some research that they needed. So they would go and they'd post it on one of these crowdfunding sites. And individuals like you and I can go in and you can donate some money. So say you would donate $100 to this campaign. They would then raise this money, use the money to produce the product, and then try to get it, sent to distributors and whatnot. And then at the end of the process, we would get rewarded for our donation. So we might get a watch, or we might get a watch and a T-shirt, or something like that. That would be incentive for us to donate. Now, what companies in the finance area are trying to do is they want to make it so that companies now can raise money in an equity format with crowdfunding. So they can go out, they can put their company on there and say they're looking to raise $1 million. Accredited investors can go onto the site and invest their money into the company and then become sort of an equity owner in that company. But there's issues there. So the SEC is sort of figuring out what the best way to do that is, because they want to protect the investor.
Right, and there's been a number of sites that have kicked up for surrounding this. I think Kickstarter is one that comes to mind. I'm speaking off the top of my head. What's that, John?
Yeah.
What is it?
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people post things up on Facebook around that GoFundMe. Those are some of the social kind of networking sites that have popped up. Mm-hmm. Any others that come to mind, Eric? Those are just a couple that came to mind immediately.
Indiegogo is another big one. Actually, PeerBackers.com. The speaker that we have coming is a good one. So there's actually hundreds of crowdfunding sites,
right?
And some of them, focus on different things. I mean, a lot of this started with sort of indie filmmakers or even musicians that wanted to record a CD. They'd go out there and they would try to raise some money so that they could go into the studio, record their CD, and then they would distribute the CD to the donors. So it depends. I mean, it depends on what the campaign is and what you are trying to accomplish. There's different platforms that sort of cater to those different types of projects.
All right, got to take a quick break. Hold on the phone there just a moment, Eric. But if you're just tuning in, we're talking with Eric Salvarez with the Aerocon events about the small business forum that's coming up March 24th and 25th over at the Crown Plaza Hotel. So coming back from the break, we'll be discussing this a little bit deeper. And you're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com. In the market for a reverse mortgage? Contact Access Reverse, a local company with personalized service in the Bay Area. Call them at 727-347-0305 or visit AccessReverse.com for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. They'll come to your home and speak with you about the best options for your reverse mortgage. Plus, they offer the lowest closing costs. Don't just get a reverse mortgage. Get the right reverse mortgage with Access Reverse. Visit AccessReverse.com. NMLS number 4566. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear-to-close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
This report is brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council. So many of you thought about becoming teachers when you were little. Well, it's time to put it back on your list. Innovative things are happening in teaching today. Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
Major crash on State Road 60 westbound at Grand Regency. You're going to find the right and right turn lane blocked. I-4 westbound looking slow from the Selma connector into 275 showing your usual delays southbound between Beers and Hillsborough, and then from I-4 into Himes. Northbound jam from the Howard Franklin up to West Shore. See a traffic problem? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterwick Hillsborough traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
Mostly sunny, high 80. Tonight, partly cloudy and breezy, low 64. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 81.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
Welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Catch the show on weekdays at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ, and also learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com. We're currently talking with Eric Salvarez, president of Aerocon Events, about the upcoming Florida Small Business Forum that's being held March 24th and 25th at the Crown Plaza Hotel. Eric, tell me a little bit more about the inspiration for this event and the history behind this event. Was this event held in prior years? So talk to me about that.
Yeah, so this is, it's actually a first-time event for us, and the motivation behind doing this. When you're in the event business, you're always kind of looking for that next idea and the next sort of growth area to host a conference. When I started to look at the Tampa Bay area, and I actually, I used I live in New York now, but I lived in Tampa, so I've always remained kind of in the loop of what's going on. I still have a lot of contacts there. I started to look at what was going on in the market, and I noticed all of this, really robust small business activity. Just a lot of,
there's a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on in Tampa.
It's really a growth area. So I noticed that there really wasn't a really strong finance-focused event. Now, I see a lot of these organizations and associations out there that are hosting some great conferences and great seminars, but I felt that with my background and my experience in hosting these conferences, I could bring that really strong investment and finance-focused conference. So I started to reach out to people, and the more people I spoke to, I found out that there was an opportunity and that there was a need for this. And the more businesses and business owners that I spoke to, I really sensed a lot of frustration and difficulties in the capital raising process for them. Everything from, trying to get a bank loan or an SBA loan all the way up through, going out and going after angel investment or venture capital investment. There's just a lot of frustration out there. And I felt that, we could bring a really good conference to them that can educate them on all of the things they need to know and give a networking forum for them to go out there and meet people like them and meet some of the experts out there in the business that can help them get some of this capital raising done.
What are some of the other topics that we're going to be covering at this event? We talked about crowdfunding, in that last segment, but what are some of the other skills that small business owners and entrepreneurs are going to be able to pick up at the Small Business Forum on March 24th and 25th?
Yeah, definitely. So the agenda, as it was forming, sort of grew into this much larger thing that I originally thought. So we've split up the content into 2 tracks. So there's actually going to be 2 rooms running throughout the day with different programming in each room targeted at specific groups. So we have one track that's going to be really focused on educating the small business owners, the sort of mom and pop stores, even the people that might have an idea that they want to start a business, they just need some help in getting that going. So in that track, we're going to cover everything from, as I mentioned, bank loans. We're going to have someone from the SBA there talking about the Small Business Association, Small Business Administration programs. We're going to talk about even franchise businesses, where we're going to talk about the funding that's available for someone that might want to look to open up a franchise.
Yeah, I see Dr. Jimmy Clogg, owner of Two Maids and a Mop, is going to be on the panel of experts on that discussion. So.
Yeah, and actually on that franchise panel, we have a gentleman named Michael Mildenberger from Funding Wonder, which is sort of a spin on the crowdfunding topic that we were talking about. He has an online platform called Funding Wonder that specializes in helping people raise money that want to buy a franchise. So he's got a sort of a crowdfunding platform for franchise businesses, which is a very interesting product. So he's going to be a great addition to that.
Now, who is this event? Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, also we have some specialized programming on this track for, programs for women-owned businesses, programs for Hispanic-owned businesses. We've got Navy Federal Credit Union coming in doing a session on their programs for veteran-owned businesses. So we tried to work in some really specific program for some targeted groups there that might want to take advantage of some of those programs that are out there and available to them.
Are you going to be talking about certifications for minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses? Is that going to be a topic that's going to be covered? I know that comes into play, and government contracts, things of that nature. That's a big thing.
Yeah, all that is going to be covered on that part of the program. Definitely.
Yeah, that's definitely of a benefit, especially in the government contracting business, small business certifications, women-owned business, minority-owned business certifications.
Yep.
Some great information that people that are in that space definitely need to learn to pick up. Talk to me about some of the local small business organizations and associations that are supporting and backing the event.
Yeah, so we've been developing these relationships over the last few months. I mean, we're working with organizations like Tampa Bay Wave and Tech Garage in St. Pete. I mean, these are some of the incubator programs that are out there that are offering, we're talking more on the startup community here. They offer co-working spaces and environments for them to come in and network with other companies and talk about ideas, and they even give them some access to funding. So we're working with groups like that to help promote this event to their members. We've been working with organizations like the St. Pete Greenhouse, and they host the 1 Million Cups event, I think, every Wednesday morning in St. Pete, working with groups like SCORE, which is an association dedicated to mentoring entrepreneurs and small business owners to start and grow their businesses. Also working with a lot of the, as we talked about, the specialized programs. So the Women's Business Center in Hillsborough County, the Working Women of Tampa Bay, and Jessica Ravelli, I know.
Yep, with our sponsor every Wednesday.
Oh.
So, hey, got to cut short here. We've got to take another quick break, Eric, but hold tight. We'll be coming back from break here in just a couple minutes. If you're just tuning in, we're talking with Eric Salvarezza of Aerocon Events here on That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Back in a moment.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
She needs PetVi, a simple digestive supplement packed with vitamins.
PetVi.com, PetVi.com. For healthy pets, log on.
Did you know that small businesses can lose significant revenue each year because of inaccurate online information? Inaccurate information means future and existing customers can't find you. As a small business owner, you can't afford to take that hit. Good news. YP, the leader in local marketing solutions, is here to help. You may know them as the Yellow Pages, but 80 million people search YP.com for local business each month. So YP knows the importance of being found. They developed an innovative new tool that measures your business's online health and checks the accuracy of your listings. It's called a free business scan. In just seconds, YP's free scan will tell you where you're listed, where you're not, and if your listings are correct. Don't be one of the businesses that leave hard-earned money on the table. Customers are looking for you right now. Check your listings for free right now to make sure they can find you. Visit myfreeyp.com. myfreeyp.com. That's myfreeyp.com now.
This report is brought to you by Unbound. You are not alone. That's the message you send when you sponsor an elder living in poverty. Unbound is the only international sponsorship organization serving society's oldest and most vulnerable members. Learn more at unbound.org.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
Major wreck reported on Keystone Road just west of the Hillsborough-Pinellas County line. You're going to find multiple lanes blocked in both directions. State Road 60 westbound still dealing with that major crash at Grand Regency. You're going to find the right and right turn lanes blocked at this time. 275 showing the usual southbound delays starting at Beers going all the way to Himes. Northbound bumper to bumper from the Howard Franklin to West Shore. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uwick Hillsborough traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. The high is 82 and sunny. The low for tonight is going to be 65, and the high for tomorrow will be 82. 1250 WHNZ Impact Radio.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
Welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Again, tune into my show weekdays here on 1250 WHNZ at 8 a.m. as this show is all about the business owners and entrepreneurs dotting the Tampa Bay and the Florida, the landscape. And I always like to ask any and all business owners that are interested in an appearance. There is no charge. I want to hear from you. Feel free to shoot me an email with a pitch of your business, and we'll see about getting you lined up for a show. Got a lot of spots open in the coming months, so feel free to contact me and let me know what you're doing. I want to hear from you. Send me an email, jamie@tampabayradio.com. Again, jamie@tampabayradio.com. And also you can contact me through my website, which is tampabayradio.com, and listen to all the past shows on demand over there. And also connect with me on all the social networking sites. I'm up on iTunes as well. Just search for That Business Show, and on facebook.com/That Business Show. and over on the Twitter at Jamie_Maloney. We're talking with Eric Salvarez right now with Aerocon Events. He is the president of this organization, and we've been chatting about the Florida Small Business Forum, which is coming up March 24th and 25th at the Crown Plaza Hotel. And Eric, tell me a little bit about who should be attending this event. Is this just for people that want to enter the space, or is this for existing small business owners and entrepreneurs? Who is this conference geared towards?
Well, it's actually geared towards both. I mean, and that's one of the things that we wanted to do when we were developing the program and the agenda is make this an event that was appealing to a lot of different groups of people. So we've got programming for everyone from someone who has an idea that wants to start a business but maybe needs some help in getting going on that, to existing business owners that are maybe they're successful and they want to grow their business or open a new location or buy some new equipment. We have some programming that would be applicable to them. And we also have some programming that is for even startup companies that are actually out there. They may have some products they're looking to develop, and maybe they've done some financing and they want to sort of move to the next level and go into getting some angel investing or even start to prepare for venture capital investing. So we have some programming for them as well. So the majority of the people that are going to be there are, would fall into those three groups. But I think it's also a great event for any of the providers that work with small businesses to come. So we'll have, a lot of the local banks will be there. We'll have marketing companies and law firms and accountants. They'll all be there as well because I think some of this information is important for them to learn. And they'll also be there to network with potential clients for themselves because there'll be a lot of small business owners there.
How does registration work, and what's the cost to attend? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Right, so you can register, anyone can register on the website, which is www.floridasmallbusinessforum.com. So you can register right on the website, or you can call me directly, and I'll give my phone number at some point if we can do that. If they
you can give it out now. Yeah, go and give it out a couple times. Go ahead and give the number.
So my number is 631-664-1311. And you can feel free to call me, and I'll help you to make sure you get registered for the event. The cost, the cost is $145, but we have some coupon codes, and I can give out a coupon here that will save you $50 off the registration price. So ultimately, the cost ends up being $95, and that's for really a day and a half of great educational sessions. You get all of your meals, you get breakfast and lunch on the 25th. And we'll even have a cocktail reception at the end of the day on the 25th to wrap up the event. So if you use the coupon code TAMPA50, so it's Tampa and the number 50, no spaces or anything in there, TAMPA50, that will save $50 off the registration price.
Tampa 50. I mean, that's a great cost. I mean, $95 for this conference, and you've got some amazing speakers. I mean, three of which have been on my program before, and you're going to hear a great presentation from Topher Morrison, who I highly recommend. He's a great speaker, key person of influence, and I've heard this guy speak, and I'm actually a part of his program, Key Person of Influence. And so just hearing him speak, this guy is an amazing business critiquer. This guy can, come up with, great, ways to, grow your business, things you don't think of, and it's just amazing to work with him. And so hearing him is going to be highly recommended. Dr. Jamie Kalaga, owner of Two Maids and a Mop, great story behind the formation of that business and her history, as well as Allie Walter with Allie Ann and Company. She was on my show just a few weeks. So you've got an amazing panel of experts, an amazing panel of topics that you're promoting.
Yeah, I mean, we've even got some really, really interesting keynote speakers. So our first keynote speaker during lunch on the 25th is Carrie Coates. She's the executive director of the Center for Advanced Entrepreneurship at Rollins College. She's going to come over from Orlando, and she's got a really impressive background. She's the president of C2 Advisors, which is an advisory and business coaching service company. She's also, in her past, was the executive vice president of the NBA Orlando Magic. So she's a really interesting person. She's going to talk about positioning and preparing your business for growth and success. She's going to be, sort of on the motivational speaker side. And then at our cocktail reception, we're going to have Chris Raddick, who is currently the chief marketing officer for Rockwell Watches, which is a new watch brand. And he also was very, very involved with Skullcandy headphones. He was there from the beginning when it was just a couple of guys like in a garage putting together this company called Skullcandy headphones, and they ended up selling it to someone for $1 bazillion or whatever. So he's going to talk about his experience with raising money for startups and sort of how to attract angel investment, because I think that's a big way in which they were able to grow the Skullcandy brand. So he's going to give some information on that. So we've got some really interesting keynote speakers as well that are going to talk a little bit outside of the main content throughout the day. So it's going to be pretty interesting discussions there.
Yeah, I mean, positioning for angel and venture capital investment is so key to any business owner and entrepreneur. And you were speaking earlier in the show about the frustration that you were hearing from business owners in this area and stuff. What were some of the things that you were hearing? And I know you operated in New York, where there's probably a plethora of investors and angel investors and stuff. And in Tampa, there's not so much of. Can you talk to me a little bit about the differences in the challenges that we are facing in the Tampa market? Why do you feel that we're having some of these challenges with investments and startups in Tampa?
Yeah, I think from from a lot of the things that I've heard is that as you said, there's a limited number of these guys out there that are investing in these small companies. So I think there's frustration on the part of the business owners because they've put a lot of effort into this. I mean, they live and breathe this idea every day. They put their blood, sweat, and tears into their idea, and when they go to an angel investor and they get turned down, they a lot of times they don't understand it because they feel like this is such a great idea, and it probably is, but there's only so much money to go around. So it's so important to understand from the aspect of the investor what they're looking for and what they want to see when they get pitched. So I think there's a lot of frustration on the part of the companies in terms of, how do they pitch it? I mean, how do they get out there and give the right information? And a guy like you mentioned, Topher Morrison, he's going to talk about that. He's going to tell you certain things that you need to know, and part of his program, program's going to be talking about some of the hidden aspects of an investor pitch. Yep. That can help you stand out when you do get in front of the investors. So, the angel investors, these are people that are investing their personal money. It's not an institutional guy. It's not somebody that's working for a bank or a fund that's investing, in an institutional kind of way. They're investing their own money. So they've got to be really, really sure of your product before they put the money in. And it takes a lot of work on the company side to get there. And once they do, they've got to be informed on how to do it. And I think that is a big part of this, which is preparing and positioning for angel investment. Another panel will talk about, are you prepared for venture capital investment? And we've got just a great 2 panels there that are going to talk about those particular topics. And in fact, we've got on the angel investment panel, I ran across a gentleman named Doug Storer from a company called Night Runner Shoes. He's also out of Orlando. And he's a company that is going through the process now of trying to get angel investment. He's been having difficulty. He's got a great, great product, and he's having difficulty, getting the funding. And I said to him, you're perfect for this panel because this is what people need to hear. They need to hear from you what you've been doing and what isn't working. So those are the kind of things that we're gonna be putting out there on the agenda. Yeah,
and you got a number of other topics. I'm just looking at some of the agenda: avoiding bankruptcy, monetizing your intellectual property, something that I think a lot of us don't think of, even myself. Can you speak to me a little bit about the importance of protecting your intellectual property? What people need to be doing with regards to that?
Yeah, it's interesting you brought that particular one up. We host a conference, a whole entire conference. 2 days on intellectual property. And that conference we do here in New York, it's called the IP Dealmakers Forum. And it's an event that focuses totally on teaching people about what kinds of opportunities they have with their patents and their intellectual property. So what we're going to be talking about here on this panel is how these startup companies that might have an idea, or maybe they have a product, maybe they're a tech company, how they can monetize that intellectual property through investment. So there are funds out there. There are hedge funds, and there is even some institutional money that is coming into that market where firms will invest in your ideas. So they're not necessarily investing in your firm and your company, but they're investing in your idea in hoping that down the road, someone like Apple comes along and they buy your idea and it's part of the new version of the iPhone. And, when that kind of thing happens, everybody stands to make a lot of money. So there are firms out there that can, kind of take their intellectual property now and get some investment coming in, get the cash now that they might need, and then those investors can, they're sort of taking a lot of different companies' intellectual property and pooling it together as an investment. So we're going to talk in that panel about how to do that, and also about how to, make sure that when you are starting your business, that all of your ideas and your patents are set up properly for that, and also for your exit, so that when you're ready to sell, or when somebody's going to come in and buy your business later on down the road, hopefully, there's no issues with your patents, and everything's protected, and you've done the right thing from the start, which is very, very important.
Yeah, see, preparing for your exit, you got to have an exit plan for your business, and a lot of people are not structured, or it's not organized in a way that somebody can put a tangible value on the asset of your business. So I see another topic, preparing for your exit, is going to be on display at this event as well.
Yeah, and that's an important one. It's actually one that came about pretty late in the process, and I kind of realized, we're spending all this time talking about preparing for investment and, what to do now to raise money, but, the end game here for everybody is to ultimately, end up selling this business idea, down the road, and that's something that I think is really important. We've got a couple of great speakers there, especially Carol Johns from the FSBDC in Hillsborough County is going to be talking about that, along with John Wobbleton from Strategic Advisors, talking about your exit plan and making sure that when you're starting your business, you are set up for your exit down the road.
Yeah, we all want to we all want to sell the business so we can all sit on a beach in Puerto Rico somewhere and sip the margaritas. Right. Hold on, I got to take another quick break. But if you're just tuning in, we're talking with Eric Salvarezza, president of Aerocon Events, about the upcoming Florida Small Business Forum being held March 24th and 25th at the Crown Plaza Hotel. And again, you're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com. In the market for a reverse mortgage? Contact Access Reverse, a local company with personalized service in the Bay Area. Call them at 727-347-0305 or visit AccessReverse.com for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. They'll come to your home and speak with you about the best options for your reverse mortgage. Plus, they offer the lowest closing costs. Don't just get a reverse mortgage. Get the right reverse mortgage with Access Reverse. Visit AccessReverse.com. NMLS number 4566. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
This report is brought to you by iHeartMedia.
Looking for a way to increase your business? Ever thought about advertising on radio? iHeartMedia can customize a campaign to meet your specific needs. Call 844-BUY-RADIO. That's 844-BUY-RADIO. Or go to iHeartMedia.com.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
Been seeing the normal delays on 275, while Keystone Road just west of the Hillsborough-Pinellas County line has a major crash with roadblock in both directions. State Road 60 westbound still has roadblock around Grand Regency. It's in the right and right turn lanes. And then Ehrlich dealing with a major wreck right between Turner and Dale Mabry. See a traffic problem? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
Mostly sunny, high 80. Tonight, partly cloudy and breezy, low 64. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 81.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
Welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Catch this show on here weekdays at 8 a.m. on 1250 WHNZ. And also be sure to catch past shows and learn more about the show over my website, TampaBayRadio.com. We're currently talking with Eric Salvarezza. He is the president of Aerocon Events about the upcoming Florida Small Business Forum that's going on March 24th and 25th over at the Crown Plaza Hotel. And so I want to talk a little bit more here. We got about 5 or 6 minutes left, Eric. I want to talk a little bit more about your company, Aerocon, and your inspiration behind forming this company and some of the other financial conferences that you host. So first of all, what other type of conferences do you host in addition, to the one that you're planning right now?
The conferences I've hosted in the past have been, I've been working for, before I started Aerocon, I was working for a firm up in New York, a Wall Street firm, that was, working with a lot of hedge funds and investment banks and, some of the institutional investors, working with a lot of topics relevant to how small cap companies and micro cap public companies would go out and raise capital. And that was really where a lot of my experience came in, and a lot of my contacts came into play in terms of when I started Aerocon. I took some of the topics that I had built up a good reputation within these markets, and I started to host these events on my own under the Aerocon brand. And one of our biggest and most successful conferences is a topic centered around what's called activist investing. And this is a topic that, sometimes makes it into the news when there's a big enough company where these activist investors come in. And to sum up, what they do is these hedge funds come in, they start to buy up a lot of stock from these public companies until they get to a point where they get to a threshold where they now can sort of institute some change and become influential in how the company is run. So they target these companies, public companies, that they feel are underperforming. They go in there, they buy up a bunch of stock, and then they start to, talk to the other shareholders and call meetings and look to get on the board and make changes in the company in the hopes of creating more value. And I think one of the most recent ones has been Darden Restaurants, which is the owner of Olive Garden. They were targeted by an activist investor, and they basically came in and said, "You're wasting too much money because you're giving away too much breadsticks." And they ended up winning the fight. They went in, they totally wiped out the entire board of the company. They have a new board in there, and hopefully, they think that they're going to create more value and raise the stock price. So I do a conference on that. I do a couple of them a year. I do some international events there because a lot of these U.S. investors are starting to look at European companies to target. So that's a good event for us. As I mentioned, we do an event in New York every year based around intellectual property and creating value there for companies looking to monetize their patents and their intellectual property. So, again, a lot of these things that we do are finance related and all centered around different deal structures that people are using to invest in companies.
Yeah, so you've done stuff overseas in China and Israel, and you even mentioned to me you even do a topic on marijuana investment conferences. Chat with me a little bit about that. That's an interesting topic that's starting to become more mainstream right now.
Yeah, of course, and we sort of did this conference, I think, before it was mainstream. But we, I guess about 5 or 6 years ago, we started to see a lot of our customers, hedge funds at the time, that were looking at the marijuana business. And, as that business, I guess it grows.
Right. No pun intended.
Across the country, it's becoming an area where people are looking to invest. So obviously, on the state level, there are certain states where it's legal for medical use. There's a couple of states where it's legal for recreational use as well. But on the federal level, it's still illegal.
Right.
So there's a lot of issues there because there's a business that has been created out of this, and not only in those states where you can distribute it for medical purposes, not only the what they call dispensaries, which is where you can go to actually get it, but there are a lot of companies that have built ancillary businesses based around that. So, the lighting systems that are used in the grow farms. I mean, there's nothing illegal about creating a lighting system. The packaging, right? There's nothing illegal about creating the packaging that they use to distribute it. So there's investors that are looking to invest in those kind of companies. And, we did a conference that was really Wall Street focused. We did it in New York. We had all of the major hedge funds there. We had National Geographic was there filming a documentary. So we got a lot of kind of exposure from that. And, it's a topic that, at Aerocon we continue to look at. It's a little tricky in terms of what you can do with it, and we want to make sure that we do the right thing. But we've actually looked at doing something in Florida when there was, some talk of it being legalized there, and obviously it didn't pass. But, we've been talking about that as well. So it's something we continue to look at.
Now, what is your plans for the Tampa and Florida market from from Aerocon's perspective? What's your plans for the markets?
Yeah, my plan for the market is to continue this event. This event right now is all indications are that it's going to be very successful, and people are going to leave there with a lot of value, making a lot of new contacts, and getting a lot of great education. So we're going to continue to do this event. I'd like to do this at least annually in the Tampa, St. Pete area. If not more than that, we'll see. But I'd like to do it in some other cities. We've had some discussions with people about maybe moving it and doing it in Orlando or doing one in South Florida. We're going to see how things go, but that's certainly on the radar. But my plan, at least, definitely in Tampa, is I'd like to do this one, and I'm also talking with some people about doing some smaller events, more focused events. So we talked about some of the programs, like we're going to talk about women-owned businesses or Hispanic-owned businesses. We may do some things focused on that as well. So in addition to the Florida Small Business Forum that we'll host annually, we'll supplement this with some other smaller events throughout the year to provide this education throughout the year. So we're excited. Yeah. We're excited about it. I think it's a great area for us to continue to host these events. And hopefully we will continue to make some new contacts.
Great conversation today. And Eric, thank you very much for what you're doing for the Tampa Bay community, and a great discussion. So hope you have a great rest of the day, and hope to hear from you soon.
All right, thanks. We appreciate having us on, and we hope to see everyone out at the conference next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, Eric. Take care. We'll talk to you soon. If you're just tuning in, we were just talking with Eric Salvarezza. He is the president of Aerocon Events. We've been talking about the upcoming Florida Small Business Forum that's going to be going on March 24th and 25th over at the Crown Plaza Hotel. And again, learn more about this over at the website floridasmallbusinessforum.com. And also, you can get a $50 off for the registration cost by using the promo code TAMPA50. Again, the floridasmallbusinessforum.com on March 24th and 25th. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or even just thinking about getting into that space, this is a great event. Going to be some excellent speakers over at this event, 3 of which have been guests on my show. So again, highly recommended that you attend this event. Again, head over to floridasmallbusinessforum.com, enter the promo code TAMPA50 for a $50 off coupon. And again, you're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. I'll see y'all back in here tomorrow at 8 a.m. Have a great day, everybody, and happy St. Patrick's Day.